Hey guys, this video we're going to be installing the Vicua IHS12D4 UV water system with pre-filtration. So let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to Thor Repairs. So in case you didn't know, this channel is about random repairs around the house, around my acreage, and also some Ram truck stuff. This video is going to be about the installation of a UV water filtration, also with pre-filters. Out on the acreage, we have well water. So the way it works is it comes in from the well right about down there, and then it goes to a pressure tank. That's what the gray thing is there, and then to our water softener system. So we have really great water out here. Actually, we're lucky. It's very little hardness, very little iron, manganese, really good water. But as a backup, I want to install this UV water filtration. The filtration's awesome, but the UV part of it kills any bacteria in the system that I don't know about. When we had our system tested a few years ago, it was baby safe right from the well, meaning, there was no E. coli or bacteria or anything. But over the years, you don't know if something changes. So that's why I'm installing this system. What we're going to do is, you can see here at the back of the softener, so the water comes in down here, comes out here, so and then goes up to the house. So what we're going to do is you install a UV system after your water softener. So what we're going to do is we're going to install it up in here. We're going to tee off in two places where the water is going to go to the UV system from here, and we'll get it there, and then we'll put in a ball valve, and then we'll have it come back into the system here, and then it'll go up and off into the house. So I'm not a plumber. I've done some copper stuff probably about 20 years ago was the last time. So we're going to install this with PEX. I've never done PEX. I have PEX pliers I bought, and some PEX cutters, and I've never done this. So if you've never done this, this is something you can do. We'll get it all hooked up. I'll do this step by step. I've already screwed the system on, but that's all I've done. So I just did that already. So you can see there's two kind of bolts there. You want to make sure you have enough room so that you can take your UV light out, which I can. It goes past here, no problem. So these filters, they're easy to change. You use this wrench and you just put it on here like this, and you can take them off, change them. They're about once a year also. There's a meter that goes on here. We'll install it later, but we're gonna get all the PEX connected and do all that first. So I'll show you the tools I have. So I bought this PEX crimp tool. It's the iSwiss. It's from Amazon. And then the cutters, these are just from a local hardware store. And so these do 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch PEX, these pliers. So as you can see here, this is actually 1-inch pipe, but this is the only 1-inch pipe I'm dealing with. So I'm using some shark bites to PEX. So from here we're using some shark bites, but then after that it's all going to be 3/4 inch PEX with the PEX crimp tool. So let's get this PEX crimp tool out of the box. Okay, so you can see here I have a ratcheting PEX cutter. So the way it works is you just keep squeezing the handle till it cuts. That's the ones I picked up. There's other styles that'll work just as good. So here is, oh, she's heavy duty. She's definitely heavy. So you put your ring in and then you squeeze it. Let's see here, there should be, here's the instructions for it. So what it does is it gives you the measuring, this is like a measuring tool, so that the ring should touch about halfway. So every crimp you can check it with this tool. So this is 3/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and it shouldn't go all the way down. It should go at this line, so you'll see it stop. So that's a good little tool to have with it. And as you can see here, it shows. So if it's too far down, that's no good. All the way in the tool is no good. It should be a bit of a gap in this thing. So that's how you measure that. And this is the tool. So we're going to cut pecs and dry fit everything and go from there. Let's first cut the 1-inch pipe and get those shark bite valves and all that kind of stuff in there. So let's get going. But first, before we get cutting into the pipe, we're going to shut off the water. So for here, you'll see it comes in right there, goes up to here into the softener. So what's going to shut the water off is that right there is going to shut the water off to the house. So now I'm going to go and turn on some taps to strain the pressure out of the system, and then we'll get cutting and measuring the 1-inch pipe. Okay, so this is the main line that we're going to tee into, but first we're going to put a PEX valve, or sorry, it's a shark bite valve, halfway. So we're going to measure halfway down first and figure out where exactly that's going to go. So this pipe is 21 inches, so 10 and a half is the halfway mark on this pipe. Okay, let's see, right out there. Okay, so that's the halfway mark. So the PEX valve is going to go right about there. So we're going to mark the edge of the shark bite, which is roughly about there and there. And then you'll see a chart where it tells you how far to push your pipe inside of the shark bite. And I'm going to double check. I think it's 33 millimeters. We're going to measure down from this line, 33 measures there, and then that's where we're going to cut. And then this will slip on, and that'll be our valve in the middle. So let's get cutting that open. Okay, so I've gone ahead and measured that 1.31 inches or 33 millimeters. So this is where I need to make my cuts, and then I can slide on the shark bite. So I've drained the lines, and it's time to make the cut. There should be some water coming out of here. I brought some buckets. A lot of noise there. I wonder, maybe it's just draining back down. Okay, so that wasn't so bad. Get that dripping in the bucket there. So that's a nice clean cut. Now I'm going to make the next cut. The ratcheting cutter sure makes it easy to cut a thicker 1-inch pipe. So here's the piece. It looks nice and square cut. So that's good. Now let's fit that shark bite valve on here. Let's do it this way. Sure didn't go on as much as I thought it was going to. Okay, so I pulled it back off. Here's why I didn't have this pulled out all the way and this was in the way. So they just pull out. So I'm just gonna set it in the pipe. And then let's try this again. There we go. Went up to the line. Now this piece we have to make sure to pull it out and get it so that, well, see, you can just pull it out. So I'm just gonna do that because I don't want it binding. Okay, there we go, guys. That is on. So there is our valve. Okay, so now that that's on, I actually just turned the water on and it didn't leak. I just wanted to do a test. Everything that's wet on here is just from when I cut the line. Okay, so that's on. It works good. We learned a lesson about these plastic tips. I'm just gonna pull them out, stick them in the pipe, and do it that way. So now what we got to do is we're gonna put a T that's 1 inch to 3/4 inch. So that's gonna go here, and then another one up here. So we're gonna get water going to the UV filters and all that, and then it's going to come back into here, and this valve is going to stay off. But it's made so that I can bypass the UV filter, turn this on, turn off, I'm going to have valves over here, and you can bypass it. But this is where we're at, so we're going to install these T's in now. So let's do the same. We're going to measure halfway. It's about 8.5-ish. So 4 3/4 is the halfway mark. 8.5, 4 1/4. 4 1/4. Thanks for catching that, guys. 4 1/4 is halfway. Then we'll do the same with the 1.31 inches and all that, because it's 1 inch, so it's the same measurements. Those are my cut lines. Okay, so what I went ahead and did is I cut this PEX pipe at 10 inches and put on my PEX valves into my Shark T's. So now, because I have the valves off, I can actually turn my water on in the house so the family can use the water. So let's do that here and see what happens and see if it leaks. Okay, so just turn on the water. Turn that on to the rest of the house. You can hear the house filling up with water now. Now we check for leaks. So this here is just old water. Not worried about that. This valve here isn't dripping or leaking. No dripping or leaking. There was a droplet at the bottom there. We'll see if that comes back, but I think that's old. And I think we're good, guys. Okay, so I went ahead and put plumbing tape on these fittings on each end. That's a 3/4 fitting on each side. So now I'm gonna do a dry fit of everything, meaning I'm gonna make all my cuts, join everything. I'm just not gonna crimp the fittings until I get everything all fitted and nice. So that's what we're gonna do next. Okay, so I have everything dry fitted. So let's go back to the beginning here. So this is the dirty water, we'll call it. Comes up to here, down, all the way down, across, and in. It's going to go through that filter, which is the micron filter, sediment filter. Then it's going to go into the second filter, which is a charcoal filter. Then it's going to get UV light. And then what's going to happen is it's going to pass through here and up, over, and back in the system up there, if you can see it. So that's how that works. So this is going to be off. These small valves are going to be on. The big valve is going to be off, and it'll flow through. But this is just dry fitted, so none of these PEX rings are crimped. So I'm going to go through and do that, and then I'm going to put fasteners on, and then we'll check for leaks. Stand by. Okay, so I crimped all of the fittings all the way around, and boy, that's a workout. If you ever want to get a good workout in, try getting up in there and crimping and doing all that. But I got it all crimped, so we're not ready to do a test yet to turn the water on. What we're going to do is we're going to plug in the controller. I've already put the sleeve and the lamp in there already. We're going to plug it in, get that on, and then once that's on, we're going to put a cup of bleach in each of these filters. We're going to take the filters out though, and there's going to be no filter in there. Put a cup of bleach in, screw it back together. Then we're going to turn on the water and check for leaks and see, and we'll go from there. That clips on there. And then there's these two grounds that go to this little screw here. And this I've made sure is tight and on. There's two little prongs that just sort of made a noise there. And then now we're going to connect these two screws. These two wires to the screw. I just got to get a screwdriver.
Okay, that's on. Now it says to plug it in.
I have a plug-in down here, so plug that in right there. So you can see it's on. This is supposed to flash green until the light gets fully ready. So we'll let that do its thing. And next is I'm going to get the bleach and put them in these canisters here. Okay, so we're going to take these canisters off. They're on there pretty good. Greased up pretty good too. Here's a filter. We're going to take that out. We're going to drop a cup of bleach inside the canister. Just some bleach. It says 1 cup per canister with no filters inside. Let's do this one now. This filter here, I'll pull it out for you guys. That's what the charcoal filter looks like. Okay, let's put a cup of bleach in here now. Back on. Okay, now is the test. I'm gonna plug it back in. It was beeping, so that's why I unplugged it. We're gonna turn this valve off, and we want the water to go through the system. So far so good. It's filling up the filters, you can hear it. And then we're going to turn that one on. Still beeping, not sure why, but you can hear it. Now let's look for leaks. Nothing. And you guys, don't forget, I've never done PEX. I just bought the tool off of Amazon, and that is it. I don't see any leaks, guys. Okay, I'm gonna check the book and see why this thing is beeping, and we'll go from there. Okay, so that beeping was a low voltage or something, it said. So I had it plugged in down there. Didn't like that. So I plugged it in up there. I'll clean all the wires up later. So this is green. This is what you want. And it's flashing because it's got to warm up and get to its full potential, I guess. And when it's solid, we're good to go. But I don't see any leaks. Actually, you know what, guys? I do see one little drip right here. It's not dripping at the PEX. No PEX leaks. I got a leak right here, so I might have to retape that and go from there. But other than that, no leaks anywhere. Okay, so I put bleach in the canisters like you seen, and I went to the farthest tap on the farthest end of the house, turn on the water, and what you do is you eventually run all your taps until you can smell a bit of that bleach in the line, like in the water. Then you let it sit in your lines for 30 minutes, it says. So I've done that. Now it says to shut off the water and release the pressure on the canisters and put the filters back in. But first, I just want to show you guys, I have a drip on each end, and it's from the brass fitting that goes into this fixture, and this is what the plumbing store gave me. So this one has a drip, one little drip on each side, no other leaks anywhere else. So what I'm going to do is, I have to shut the water off anyway. I'm going to put more plumber's tape on and see if I still have a bit of a leak from there. I put the plumbing tape on, I don't think I put enough on. So we'll try that. So let's do that. So to make things easier, I'm going to release the little drain screw on the bottom of the canister. The water's off now, and I've released the pressure in the system. Okay, so I put the filters back in. One thing to make a note of, you guys, when you're changing these filters is when you're undoing the screw at the bottom, you got to keep pressing this release valve right here, and it'll just keep letting the water out. But you got to keep pressing this valve in order to let the water out, because it's a sealed system. It won't let the water out unless you press that top valve. And then I put more plumbing tape on these fittings. So now let's turn the water on and see what we got. So first I'll turn this on, and then these two. So you can hear it filling up. It's doing its thing. Now, all we can do is wait. But if it leaks, I'll let you guys know. But I think we're going to be good. I didn't have much plumbing tape on there. So I hope you guys learned something on this, that this is like a DIY. I've never done any type of PEX before. None of it. So I hope you enjoyed. If you do, please smash the like button. Subscribe to my channel. There's going to be lots more videos about all kinds of different things. So I hope you enjoyed. Have a great day.